Now, last year, the CEB hoped to somewhat reduce its losses through the imposition of the fuel adjustment charge. However, the loss incurred by the CEB increased from 19.3 billion rupees in 2011 to 61.2 billion rupees in 2012. At the end of the year, short-term loans obtained by the CEB and debts repayable to other institutions amounted to 137 billion rupees. Furthermore, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka reports that long-term loans obtained by the CEB amounts to 296 billion rupees. Now, just to recap on what we touched on earlier, at the end of the year, the short-term loans obtained by the CEB and debts repayable to other institutions amounted to 137 billion rupees. Furthermore, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka reports that long-term loans obtained by the CEB amounts to 296 billion rupees. Let's now take a look at some of the views that were expressed yesterday regarding the new electricity tariffs on the Satana political debate program, telecast on our sister channel Sirsa TV last night.
What we have in the country is not a public utilities commission but a government utilities commission. The public utilities commission implemented that policy of the government in more better ways than the government. It is clear that this was done in a manner that would not be felt that seriously. The government did not restrict the supply of electricity at any point. Electricity was supplied continuously. The increase in the fuel prices gravely affected the electricity board. The fact that affected us was the drought in 2011. It was in an environment where we cannot control the fuel prices in the market that we had to maintain these rates. This is not theft that is taking place. This is murder. The public is being murdered. Theft is much more better. Murder is not justifiable. The CB has incurred a massive loss. How do they intend to cover that loss? There are two sides to this. What will happen to the cost? We should see if we can generate electricity with a very low cost. The other point is that we should increase the income. All of them have to increase the income. The tariffs were increased by 60%. The people have become afraid of this. Where on earth can you find a unit of electricity being sold at 5 rupees? This is the time where the economy of the country is moving forward. Several problems will arise when handling this economy. Various problems may arise.
Speaking exclusively to News First, the former Minister of Power and Energy, Partali Champika Ranawaka, expressed these views.
The negative effect in this new amendment to the tariffs is that those who use lesser number of electricity units, that is those who use less than 120 units, will see a massive increase in their electricity bills. An unfair principle has been followed in this. A small increase is needed for small and medium scale industries which are like the backbone of this country.
Now, is it fair to increase the electricity tariffs? Yes or no? Well, we at News First conducted an opinion poll on our websites www.newsfirst.lk and via text messages. Here are the results.
.2% of the total voters were of the view that it was unfair to increase the electricity tariffs. However, 96.72% were of the view that it was unfair to increase the electricity tariffs.
Now, here are some of the comments made on our website www.newsfirst.lk regarding the increase of electricity tariffs. In the meantime, the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce urges the Ceylon Electricity Board to give priority to implementing the directions of the Public Utilities Commission on electricity tariffs. Issuing a communique, the Chamber of Commerce noted that the new tariffs that have been made effective from the 12th of April will entail significant increase in electricity costs for all industry sectors, with the increase estimated to be between 20 to 30% on average. The Chamber notes that although there has been no adjustment to tariffs based on the views expressed at the public consultation, the PUCSL has directed the CEB to implement some recommendations made by the public. Furthermore, the Chamber adds that these recommendations, when implemented, are expected to increase transparency and monitoring of generation plants, which will lead to reduction of costs. In the meantime, the Executive Director of the Pathfinder Foundation, Lakshman Siriwardena, expressed these views.
We have a suspicion as to whether this expenditure is not there at present. Is the true cost reflected in what they are reporting as costs? The best example of this is whether some provision has been made to cover the losses that have been incurred over the past several years. As far as I am aware, there is no such provision. Second is whether costs incurred by corruption and inefficiency are also reflected here.
The Democratic People's Front organized a demonstration today in protest of the increase in electricity tariffs. The protest was held opposite the Kochikade Church. A group including members of the DPF lit candles as a symbolic mark of protest.
Adikare!